Time for FT, presented by Fox One. AJ will join us in a minute. We've got Jason Kipnis back in the house. Kip, are you okay with the fact that you do not have to face the Dodgers starting rotation in the World Series?
Very okay. I would much rather enjoy that from the comfort of a couch now than what I got to face.
Much easier to watch it and to talk about it. Let's do it. Here he is.
Hey guys,
throw him right into the World Series,
right?
Mix. Yeah. We have a lot to catch up on. We do have a lot to catch up on, and also there's breaking news basically as we're starting here about Tony Vitello, which we'll get to in like 20 minutes or so. We're going to do World Series first. We've covered that story a lot, and we'll definitely get Kip's perspective there. Before we charge, Kip, we're going to talk more. I guess we could do it within the opening segment. I want to talk about Bo Bichette and how you try and welcome someone back like that. And then we'll go over the pitching pairing to start the series for the Dodgers. So you know what? Let's just charge, and then we'll put Kip on the hot seat.
Great.
Charging the mound.
All right, so we know that the Dodgers are rolling out the same 1-2 to start the World Series, just like the NLCS, because, that worked out pretty well for them, Kip. So it's Blake Snell in Game 1, and it's Yamamoto in Game 2. First off, your thoughts on what they're rolling out from a starting rotation perspective and how you would try and crack that, mess it up, and not look like the Brewers did.
Well, I hope Toronto welcomes Bo Bichette back better than you guys welcome me back, just throwing me right into the fire, just right into the deep end immediately.
Hold on. No. Before we get into the pitching, I'm going to ask you the question then, because I said I don't even know if you can welcome Bo back. Not that I don't like Bo Bichette, but then some fans on the comments were like, just put him at second. He's never played second base. How hard is that transition? Before we even dig into the pitching.
That would be an uncomfortable transition for anybody to switch positions, especially in that big of a stage. It's easier, I guess, going from just one side of the infield to the other. I think he's still a good defender enough to where now he's just given more time. Obviously, second base is going to be the easier position than the shortstop, shorter throw, more time to get the guy out. So I wouldn't doubt that he could make the transition, but it's not the ideal situation. And I do welcome him back, maybe a little bit more than you do, AJ, just because I think what do we mean by welcoming back? Like, he's one of the better players. You're already probably the underdog in this series, and he's an X factor that can probably give you more on the offensive side if it clicks right away. Obviously, a big if, than maybe what you've been getting from those middle infield positions. So I think you're going for it if you welcome him back, I think
the key here that we've been discussing is George Springer. A lot of the comments to what we bring up have to do with the obvious, or according to fans, Springer in the outfield, Barger to third, Ernie Clement to second, IKF to the bench. That is definitely their best offensive setup if you're bringing Bo back. But wait, George Springer rates as a poor defender. He, innings-wise, I added it up. I think it was about 48 games worth if you're going, about his total innings divided by 9. And most of that was in right field. And I think a lot of Springer playing well this year, especially down the stretch, had to do with him not playing in the outfield. Okay, even with all of that being said, Kip, I'd still throw him out there if I'm getting a big offensive boost. But wait, Springer got clocked in the knee, and obviously had the biggest swing in, the century here for the Toronto Blue Jays, but that doesn't mean that he can man the outfield. Pretty big difference between that and what he can do at the plate.
Yes, but at the same time, I'm just going off my own, which is now we're coming up on almost a decade ago, but we put Carlos Santana, a normal first baseman, out in left field. This is when ALNL and pitchers were still hitting and stuff like that. So it's like, if it's an offensive boost, which you're going to need versus this Dodger team to keep up with them, their runs scored, I think you got to just throw him out there. And as far as his knee will be fine. AJ can attest to this too. You'll have enough. It's a World Series. You're going to have enough adrenaline and enough doctors on hand, enough stuff to get you through whatever game you need to and feel great for the game. So I'm not really worried about the knee.
Okay. So Springer in the outfield, Bo DH. I mean, there's still a chance that Bo plays shortstop and he just,
I know it's just
passes the test.
Kip, in 2016 when Kyle Schwarber came back for the Cubs and he had missed all year with his, it's a different situation for me because Schwarber was never really going to play defense. He was only there to hit, and he'd been getting at bats for a while down in Arizona, and I know it's not the big leagues, but when he got thrown back in there, he had been doing it. Bo Bichette has not. As far as I know, maybe he's getting a bat here and there, like in sim games, but he's not getting like actual game reps at shortstop. He's not getting game rep at bats. It's a different thing. It's just hard to come back from. Sorry,
I think if you don't start him, if you don't put him in right away, I don't see how he should really come in at all, I guess. And I think that's what AJ's trying to say a little bit. Unless you have at bats, because you're not just going to give him, he's not going to be a late pinch hit. You're not going to use him as a late pinch hit in a big situation when the guy hasn't seen live pitching or hasn't been doing that. So if you're not going to use him then, and if you don't start him at the beginning, then where is he going to come in? So I think you start maybe game 1, game 2. And listen, you're going against an elite pitching staff too. If these are your first at bats back, good luck. But it's hard. But anything goes and anything can happen. It's just if you're not getting anything maybe from IKF or whoever has been there or something, just going off of what they've been doing, then it's like you don't really have much to lose. And you try it early, and then you can switch later. Switch the second half.
Yeah, and you got to read.
Except if you're down a couple games, this isn't the
right.
That's what. Unless you're, what do you have to lose? You just have this thing called the World Series to lose. Kip.
Well,
that's
no, I don't.
Worst outfield defense.
Yeah, but I also don't want to be there if you're down. Let's say you're down 3-0, and then you finally put him in, and he has a big game, and you're like, well, we should have done this much earlier. So I'd rather know ahead of time or as early as possible what we have in him.
Yep,
I guess
that's fair. I know Barger can play third. Man, he's played really well
in the outfield.
He's had a great.
I mean, that defensive outfield for the Blue Jays has been really good. I don't know that I would want to mess with that. And Jimenez and IKF in the middle are really good too.
Yeah, I mean,
plus we get the IKF whenever they turn to double play. He does the.
I don't know what the fly ball percentage is, but I'm sure it's sky high. I mean, the Dodgers are a top 3 home run hitting team. Like you want the outfield tight. But anyway, let's go over a couple other notes from the series. Mike Petriello putting out some statistics. I thought this one was interesting. And Mike's a big proponent of slug over contact. That's a little precursor here, but he does do really good research on topics like this, where he said the Jays offense has the 4th highest October slugging percentage since 1969. So as much as they make contact, they are also making very good contact. It's damage contact. They're going against Dodgers pitching, which has the 2nd lowest October slugging percentage allowed since 1969. He said, forget small ball miss. This series is going to come down to whether Toronto bats can keep slugging versus an elite LA rotation. I mean, that's cool. That's historical information to point out how good the Dodgers have been at preventing damage and how the Blue Jays,
especially their starters.
Right, especially their starters. But I think it's underrated. Like, we look at the Blue Jays, like they're not just hitting. I mean, they have singles, but there's a lot of doubles and homers in there too.
Yeah, but they weren't facing the Dodgers pitching either.
Right, so
starters.
They
weren't facing Snell, Yamamoto, Shohei, Glasnow. They don't give up damage a lot. And Snell, we already talked about, dominated them earlier this year. I mean, Glasnow dominated him. He didn't get a decision, but he dominated him. Yamamoto hasn't seen him, so it's a little different. Shohei hasn't seen him in a few years, but it's a different thing. I mean, listen, we talked about this yesterday. Can the Blue Jays starters match the Dodgers starters and make it a battle of the bullpen? Because both bullpens aren't terrific. And then can the lefties of the Jays, who didn't get to pitch a whole lot against the Mariners because they're so right-hand dominant, Little and Fluharty, and if they use Lauer, come in and negate Shohei, Muncy, and Freddie. That's where it's going to. That's kind of the margins you're looking for if you're the Blue Jays.
I mean, the thing also is, Kip, you need a starter to be off, right? Like, those guys are amazing. They're not going to do that every single start. Yamamoto had a blip, not the last start, the start before, right?
Yeah.
There was
against
a blip.
The Reds?
Yeah.
Against the Phillies?
Against the Phillies. Yeah. Reds, he had the first inning issue was more Teoscar Hernandez's fault.
Yeah.
And then the Phillies got to him a little bit. So you need one of those where it's like, command's not as sharp, or he's missing a pitch right now, and then they capitalize.
Yeah, you need them to be off, but again, this starting rotation is that good at keeping down the slugging. You kind of have to force your way to make them off a little bit. You got to take your singles. You got to create a little havoc on the base pass. You got to find – listen, This kind of I say this a little bit about like where the Yankees have done, where they kind of live and die too much by the home run ball at times, and you just don't want it all to come down to whether Vladdy hits a home run or Springer hits a home run. You got to create runs in another way and force that pressure, because if it's coming down to just home runs, this pitching staff does such a good job at eliminating that. So they throw too hard and their stuff's too nasty. So you really got to find other ways to score sometimes and not just count on the long ball.
Well, we got a super chat here from Music to My Ears. Shane Bieber has 3 pitches which could be effective against the Dodgers, but not where he places them. Curve, slider, and change ups start low and end low 70% of the time. We are not swinging at low pitches. A Dodger fan here commenting on Shane Bieber's game.
Well, that's a long ways away. But yeah, listen, one thing about the Dodgers, they don't chase a whole lot. You have to try to get them out in the strike zone or strike the ball. And they do a good job of eliminating a lot of different pitches. And that's going to be another thing. Like even with Gausman, how will they handle that split that he throws, right? Game 2, you savage with the split. We saw the Mariners made an adjustment and kind of laid off of that. And they got better as they saw him, especially the second time they saw him, right? So can the Dodgers do this the first time they see him? Now, a lot of these Dodgers have seen Kevin Gausman a lot because he's been around for so long. So, but the Dodgers are really good at this, and the Blue Jays are good at it. The differences between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, when the Dodgers do it, it seems like they build pitch counts up. The Blue Jays do it by swinging earlier in the count and not getting to 2 strikes a lot of times. And that's why their contact rate is higher.
I think you got to keep with that. Don't let those guys get ahead, right? If they're going to fill up the zone, then go for it. And if it doesn't work out one of the games and the pitch counts at nothing and the guy deals a complete game, oh well.
On to the next.
Ball didn't fall where you wanted it to. It happens. All right, let's get ready for Ryan Divish. He's going to put the 2025 Mariners to bed next.
For all you parents out there like me with teenagers trying to already keep a million things under control, Cash App is here to help us make sure your teens' money and their spending isn't adding up to craziness.
With the Cash App card available to teens 13 to 17 with sponsorship by an eligible parent or guardian, every transaction triggers a real-time notification for you to see, empowering your teen to practice independence while giving you peace of mind by keeping track of their spending. You can also manage everything directly from your own Cash App account without having to switch between the two. With the Cash App card, you and your teen's balances receive 24/7 fraud monitoring, and if something ever feels off, you have the ability to lock their card right from your phone in just one tap. If you're ready to give your teen more independence while staying in the loop, start by downloading Cash App and setting up their account today. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code FAMILY10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cashapp.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. We saw this coming, but it's still cool to get the final numbers on ALCS Game 7 in Canada. Our friend Shai Davidi over at Sportsnet talking about how there was record-breaking average of 6 million viewers. Previous high was 5.1 for the 2015 ALCS in Game 6. The audience peaked at 8.3 million for the final outs of the 9th, and the pre-game and post-game shows put up a 1.9 and the post up 2.8. Canada likes baseball too.
That's just in Canada, right?
That's just in Canada.
Do we have the Fox numbers?
I don't know if I saw those yet, but I will say, for as much as you don't get the ratings here, for the sport, it's still cool to get all of Canada involved in an event like this,
Yeah.
We haven't seen this in the 21st century, so I think it's cool.
I actually missed the game.
Did you?
I missed Game 7. I was at Adam Sandler was at the United Center here in Chicago, and I had tickets for a while, so I never put it together that might line up. But fun show. Had a great night, but missed the exciting game.
Adam Sandler's pretty good competition for Game 7.
Mm-hmm. I had a fun time.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan Divish is here, and you can follow him at Ryan Divish. And he writes for the Seattle Times, and it is tough times in Seattle right now. So, Ryan, good to see you. I'm glad to see you outside touching grass, but tell me how Mariners fans are doing right now and how the city of Seattle is handling what just happened.
It's not quite like it was after the game where it was Lord of the Flies and, people were freaking out. I think they're starting to kind of accept what had happened, the outcome. I think the problem is a lot of the fans are digging into some of the numbers or going back through and reading some of the coverage and hearing what people said and everything else. And I think that's is still incensing a lot of fans, is kind of going back and looking at it. You have the time to react. I always say that people on Twitter, it's like they shoot first and aim later, and they react first and then they think about it later. But I don't know that going back and rereading or rethinking or even kind of looking at all the details that went into that crazy seventh inning is going to make them feel any better.
Well, let's dig right in, since you're in Montana. You got out of town before things got nasty there in Seattle. But would you have brought in Andres Munoz? I know that Bizzardo had a high strand rate of runners, and people are throwing that at me on Twitter, saying like, well, look at his strand rate, it's top 10 in baseball. But at the same time, it wasn't the series on the line, the season on the line, and you have one of the best closers in baseball that hadn't pitched at all in this series, really.
Yeah, I haven't gotten back to God's country yet, AJ. I'm in Washington. It's just as beautiful here as Montana, just a little different. No, so here's my thinking on this. This is the other guys that we were with, Adam Jude and Tim Booth, my other guys I cover. When they brought in Bizzardo, I was kind of stunned. I wasn't watching the bullpen. I knew they were going to go there. And to me, the Mariners pitching philosophy, a lot of times, Pete Woodworth always says it is like, if you're going to get beat by a hitter, get beat by your best pitch. Well, if you're going to get beat in a leverage situation, don't you want your best leverage reliever? And to me, everything about that situation, you needed a strikeout. Who is better at getting a strikeout on the Mariners bullpen than Andres Munoz? I mean, this is a guy that didn't allow a hit during the postseason, hadn't allowed a run. You're looking for a swing and miss. George Springer hadn't seen him since July of 2024. He'd seen Edward Bizzardo 3 times already in the series, including the day before when Bizzardo oddly pitched 2 innings in a game they were down 4 runs. So I just thought, to me, if you're going to go in that situation and you have the leverage point in that situation, you go with your best guy. You can figure out the 9th. I think they planned for Munoz to go 2 innings in that game, but you can't save him for a lead in the 9th inning. You don't have. You can't allow yourself. You got up, you had a lead, everything's like trending towards you clinching, and you have to go with your best in the situation.
Okay, can we also put something else to bed? George Springer right there to get to Lucas. Okay, let's all the Mariner fans are like, oh, they should have walked him. No, because then you bring in Vlad into play, right? Who they whole series are trying to avoid in these situations. Because okay, let's say Lucas goes up there and punches out on 3 pitches. Well, then Vlad comes up with the bases loaded, and you got to get him out with Bizzardo, a guy he's seen a bunch of times too. So let's also, can you please put that to bed for me, that they should not have walked him?
Yeah, that's not even that's not a good idea on any level. You can't assume you're going to get a double play ball. I mean, when they official score it, you can't assume that you're going to get a double play on a play if they make a mistake. You can't assume that you're going to get a double play ball. And so, no, you don't. So, if you do it properly, if let's say Munoz gets the strikeout or gets Kirby, even if he gives up a run on a sac fly, then he strikes out Lucas, then you have Munoz coming back for the next inning and Vlad's leading off with nobody on base. And if you get through that without massive damage, all of a sudden it's the back end of the Toronto order in the 9th, and Vlad is 7 hitters away from coming to the plate. All you had to do was find a way to minimize the damage in the 7th, and then you have set yourself up. Because, like I said, if you get Springer out and Lucas out, then you have Vlad leading off the 8th. So he's coming to the plate with nobody on base. Then you can get creative if you want to walk him or do whatever. But I just think, to me, the worst possible scenario in that situation was George Springer hitting a home run. Do we really think that if Andres Munoz comes in, he's giving up the homer? He might give up a hit. He gave up some hits in the next inning, but that doesn't lose you the game. The worst possible scenario is Springer hitting a bomb and you lose the lead. It's not tied or whatever, and then you have to play differently in your final 6 outs. So I just think, to me, it wasn't that critical. I mean, the one thing I thought maybe is if you're looking to trying to plan out your game, George Kirby was actually throwing better in the third and the fourth than he was in the first and the second. His velocity was ticking up even more. The movement on his pitches was better in the third and the fourth. Maybe if you wanted to start him in the fifth and let him face, because I think it would have been Barger, or I can't remember who it was. It was the bottom of the order coming to Springer. If you wanted to go that way, start him in the fifth, but they were so cognizant about not starting Brian Wu in the middle of an inning. But even then, you have all your leverage relievers available. So if you start Kirby in the fifth, maybe he gives up a base runner, then you go to Bizzardo, or then you go to Matt Brash and kind of clean it up. Because I also have Bryce Miller still sitting in the dugout, ready to pitch one inning and throw it as hard as he could. And he was probably the best pitcher for the Mariners in the entire series. So I thought, I think they had it planned out. I think they're hoping 3 or 4 from Kirby, 2 from Wu, 2 from Munoz, and figure out the other one inning. But I just think that, you can't designate that you want Munoz to pitch the last 2 innings when there's a higher leverage situation that's just screaming at you, put your best guy in here, figure out a way to get him out.
That's exactly a perfect transfer to me, where I can only relate to it on our 2016 Cleveland run, where we had Andrew Miller at the time and Cody Allen at the back of the bullpen. We don't go on our run unless Tito handles that bullpen the way he did. And where if exact same situation, 7th inning, we might have 2nd and 3rd, you need a strikeout. Why wait for the 8th inning for Andrew Miller or something like that? We just brought him in right then, get that strikeout, get through to it, and then you can kind of flip-flop or miss or manage your way from there. But it also happened again, another thing where I think we threw Andrew Miller in game 4 or 5 when we shouldn't have, or 2 innings, and then brought him back the next day. So he's probably a little tired. Guys had just seen him. So even another reason to maybe not use him there. Bizzardo there. So it really does. It coincides. We don't get as far as we did without Tito pulling the right triggers or the right strings, but there's one that it can be questioned. I think the manager, Dan Wilson, is going to be facing questions about that one, because you just said it's the highest leverage situation right there. Give me your highest leverage pitcher. So I think it just lines up there. What I want to transfer over to, though, is kind of where do they go from here with their roster then? You got 2 big free agents looming ahead. You got Suarez and Naylor, who become free agents again. What do you see happening with the 2 of them? Do you see them both going, both staying, or maybe keeping one? Or what do you see Seattle's moves this offseason?
Well, they'll have 3 actually too, because I think Polanco has a player option, and it's only for $6 million, so he'll opt out of that and want to get paid for his season. And I think there's 3 guys there. I think they're hopeful. The priority is probably Naylor because he's such a good fit. I think their best chance is to bring back Polanco because he likes how Seattle feels. As a guy that only had he'd only played in one organization before being traded to Seattle and didn't want to, try something different this past offseason and came back to Seattle. Not exactly a place where you go to rebuild your numbers. But he's very comfortable there, comfortable with Julio Rodriguez and Edgar Martinez as one of the hitting coaches and Kevin Seitzer. So I think, they have a chance to get Polanco back if they give him market value. Naylor will be the interesting one. I think with Suarez, they'll look at it, but they're not going to, give him $15 million or something like that. They're just not going to. The priorities are probably Naylor and Polanco in that order.
Okay.
Div, what are they going to do about their pitching? Because I know they're not going to keep the payroll going up. We've learned that about the Mariners. That's one thing they're not going to do. And if they have Naylor, they have Suarez as free agents. But at some point, this pitching staff is going to start getting expensive. So are they going to try and sign any of these guys to a long-term deal? Are they going to try and maybe think about trading one of them to get some money off the books? How are they going to handle this? Because Munoz is getting close to arbitration. Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Castillo's already locked up to obviously a deal. But how do they make this all work? Because their strength is their pitching.
Yeah, I haven't. They had offered Logan Gilbert an extension kind of before he was even in the big leagues. Kind of I don't know. It wasn't like an Evan White extension, but what you see from teams when they offer a guy that hasn't really debuted yet, it wasn't for a lot of money. Kirby, I don't know that they've had any of the discussions. I don't know that they believe that those guys are that interested in signing extensions of the group. Maybe Bryce Miller is the most likely to sign an extension because he wants his ranch in Texas. But that's something they're going to run into. And I think, for them, probably what they're thinking is like run it back for next year if possible with most of the same guys, with your core guys, and then make the harder decisions a year from now. But Logan Gilbert is going to get a lot more expensive, even with a year where he wasn't, didn't get the 30 starts that he normally does. His arbitration number is still going to go up. Kirby's arbitration number is still going to go up. It's all going to add. They're incremental, it's like inflation. It's all going up. And so their payroll is going to go up without even signing these other guys. I think, they certainly can't claim poor. You make it to the ALCS, all the benefits of a postseason run. Not to mention with the last week of the season, they went over their attendance figures from last year. So they have money. Like, they don't like to add a ton of payroll, but it's not because they can't. That's the difference. They can, and I think if you don't capitalize on this moment, like everybody says, oh, this is a beginning, not the end. That's fine. It's only a beginning if you continue to invest and make the team better. There are obvious holes. You're looking at, first and third are undecided. Whether they have to make a decision on whether they want to bring Randy Arozarena back at $18 million a year, or if they want to move him in his final year and try and, supplement somehow and get more big league pieces. But they have pieces that they need to add, and the pitching is part of it. Like, they need to add another middle reliever. So their payroll is going to have to increase, and it can't just increase by, everybody getting a little bit more in salary arbitration and everything costing a little bit more. No, you have to capitalize on this opportunity, and it's something they failed to do in 2022, where they make the postseason, upset the Blue Jays in the first round, and then lose the Astros. But everybody's excited, and then they have 2 straight years where they don't really do a whole lot in the offseason. I just think you've got to capitalize on it now. And like, to be honest, they didn't do a lot this past offseason. They went and got all their pieces really at the deadline. Jorge Polanco was their major free agent signing, and it was more of a high or low risk, high reward. I think they offered him, what they pay him, $7.75 million with a vesting option. I mean, that's not a huge investment, and it paid off. But I don't know that you can try and run that same game plan back again, where you don't do a lot and then try and supplement at the deadline. It's just a tough way to live.
Div, I don't know if you know this, but the wind is blowing like from this
my
side.
Coffee.
I was going
this side to this side.
It's
how hot is that coffee?
Yeah.
No, it's 45 degrees here in Ording, so I'm like hanging out like in Washington. Nice.
We
out.
can put some
beautiful weather. 45 degrees.
We could put some, a sweatshirt or something on.
Oh, this is perfect after sitting in the press box in Detroit and in Toronto where there's no air moving. This is beautiful, fresh air.
Okay. All right. Well, you brought it up, and I want to know the answer to this. Did the ownership learn anything from this year? Right? Meaning, after 22, they didn't really do anything. Fans were pissed. Cal Raleigh had to come out and say what he said, remember, in 23, and then, oh, no, I didn't really say that. Just kidding. Right? And then this year they go out and they make the trade for Suarez. They make the trade for Naylor. They do some things, and they get, as close as you can get to the World Series without making it. Did the ownership of the Mariners learn anything that, hey, if we just spend a little bit on this team, we might actually make history?
I would think so, but again, you never know how, they make a lot of business decisions when it comes to baseball. So you would think that they would look at it and say, you have to invest in a product to get maximum output in terms of your revenues that you want to generate. I think, honestly, them moving away from their regional sports network and just going straight to MLB and dealing with that, I think that provides a little clarity. But yeah, they have money. This isn't a situation where they're really not every team has money. It's whether or not you're uncomfortable to add a little bit more than maybe your numbers or your algorithms or your budgets that you've used traditionally to add. Just go against it, get uncomfortable. What do they always say about players that want to get better, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable to learn to get better. I think for these guys, for the ownership, hey, you know what? Get uncomfortable a little bit. Go in some territory where you've never been before. Add some money that you wouldn't normally do, because it's right there. The core is right there. We talked to JP Crawford about Josh Naylor and what it would mean to come back. And he was just adamant, like, we got to find a way to bring him back because they know what the fit is. Okay. They've never really done a 4-year, $80 million contract for somebody. I think you got to. I mean, I think you have to look at what you need and value that more than what you're willing to pay. And I think that's the big thing. At times they've been resistant to taking risks, risk averse. But to get to where you want to go and to get to the World Series, you have to take risks. I mean, yeah, you might lose on a guy or you might have a bad signing, but I think you don't really care at this point. You have to get back. I mean, you cannot let what happened this year and what this team did and what the fans were like in that Game 5 against Detroit or Game 5 against the Blue Jays. You can't let that go by. You can't let it slip out of your hands. You have to capitalize on the momentum you built and come back and show fans that, hey, we really believe in this group, and then move forward. And I mean, if you want to re-sign other guys, if you want to attract free agents, then you have to show that you're ready to commit to winning on a consistent basis beyond just draft, develop, and sign. You want to be, you want it to move to a higher level.
Ryan, what's your favorite college team?
Montana Grizzlies, right here.
Oh, 'cause it sounds like it's South Carolina with all those cocks crowing behind you. I'm just saying. It's
know,
crazy. They're a little late.
I would like to kill those roosters every single day and make them into fried chicken.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. They're a little late. It's 10:30.
Yeah, it's 10:30.
It's 10:30 out there. Tell them that they're a little late. But
frat boy rooster.
Yes. All right. So now, what was your favorite baseball team growing up? Was it the Mariners?
No. Being in Montana, you're equidistant between the Mariners and the Twins. And my family had family in Minneapolis. So the first, I think, 15 big league games I saw were all in the Metrodome. Love Kirby Puckett more than anything else.
Okay, so if you were a fan of Kirby Puckett and you saw him standing in an airport, would you recognize him? I know he's passed away and I love Kirby, but would you recognize him? By the way, the correct answer was me, but other than that, go ahead.
I saw you play when I was in college, actually. AJ was in Minnesota. I saw a few games there. I would recognize him. Yeah, I think. I mean,
Okay.
He was kind of unique looking because he was built like a fire hydrant,
True.
So it was like, you would recognize him.
Okay. The reason I asked is I told this story after Game 5 in Seattle. I was flying back to Orlando where I live, and Ken Griffey Jr. was standing next to me. And we chatted for 30 to 45 minutes. And all these Seattle people had Griffey jerseys on and Seattle Mariners this. And he stood there and not one Seattle person came up to him. Am I the only one that's like, I cannot believe that nobody recognized Ken Griffey Jr. standing in the Seattle airport for like 45 minutes?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I would think maybe it's just the awe of seeing him, or maybe they were just terrified that you were his bodyguard and they didn't want to get near him. I'm stunned by that. Then again, you know what? It's like more people recognize the dump here guy in the T-shirt than they do probably James Paxton standing in an airport too. So I'm always kind of stunned by that. I was planning on doing a story on Cal Raleigh going to Costco because he went to Costco one day to try and get some snacks and he get a hot dog. And it didn't go well for him. Like, he got recognized right away and he never did get the hot dog. He was pretty disappointed. So I wanted to go do a story on that. And I don't think, and like you look at Cal and you don't think, oh, he's a big league player. You look at him and think, oh, probably a policeman or, construction guy, but he gets recognized. So I can't believe I'm going to text Junior and make fun of him about that too, though.
Please do.
That sounds like a sequel article.
Yeah.
I would like the follow-up.
Cal was just pissed because he couldn't get that $1.50 hot dog at Costco, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He wanted the hot dog. He wanted the pretzel bites with the peanut butter inside them. He loves those things.
Well, I think he's popular enough now that he can tell the clubby chef and he can whip that up for him. But he's got the off season to work on his menu for next year that he can request. He'll be there for a long time. Ryan, good stuff, man. Great coverage, and thanks for hopping on.
Don't freeze to death in Montana, okay?
Oh, I won't. I'll if I send out a picture of me eating fried chicken, you'll know it's the Roosters from next door.
Yeah, next time we have you on, if we don't hear that, we know what happened. Yep. Appreciate you, man. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Let's take you through the Arena Club Slab Pack experience. This is part 2 because Todd Father last week pulled a card that he didn't love, yet he sold it back for actually more than what the slab pack cost. This time, pulls a card that he likes.
Yeah, and this is the best part of it. Ronnie Mauricio, the Mets standout, rookie sensation. He's been absolutely phenomenal. I like the itch of seeing what you're going to get. I like prospects. I don't love them. But seeing this kind of card is actually absolutely beautiful thing. I know a couple people around town that would absolutely love that card. So there's going to be a lot of conversations going on here for Arena Club.
And what you do is you have it in your digital showroom. If you want to hand it out locally, then cool. You ask Arena Club to send it to you, and they do. Or you can sell it back like you see there. Instant offer for $193, but he's keeping it. And you can do what Todd Father does by going to arenaclub.com/Val and getting 20% off your first card purchase or your first slab pack purchase. Hey, Mike Petriello put out this tweet on Mookie Betts. I thought this was well done because we don't always get the context. He said, Game 1, a ton will be made of Betts, 306, 358, 510 slash line off Kevin Gausman. That was all bad Baltimore Gausman. 429, 487, 714 was the slash in 39 plate appearances from 2014 to 2018. 2019 through now, Betts is 0 for 14 against Kevin Gausman. That's a great call. If we see Kevin Gausman stats pop up, you might want to text your Fox buddies. Hey, don't fall for the Betts Gausman stat.
Banana in the tailpipe trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That's a completely different Kevin Gausman back then.
He was a different guy. I faced Kevin Gausman back then. He was a lot different than what he is now.
Yeah. Oof.
That's like I had when Wade Davis went from starter to closer. And they're like, oh, you own this guy. Go get it. I was like, I own starter Wade Davis. Closer Wade Davis. Reversed. Own me.
Right. They become a different beast. I mean,
different.
Yeah. Pitchers evolve. I do think that's helpful. Sometimes that does happen, and we probably get fooled by it. Where we're like, oh, he's got great numbers. Sometimes it's real. Sometimes it's not. We could get fooled in the reverse, too, where you're like, his numbers are okay. And then
sometimes
like, wait.
It doesn't even matter.
And sometimes it doesn't matter. Yes. It's a good call, though. So if we see that, that's your warning. Don't fall for it, everyone watching and listening. All right, we're going to cover the breaking news on Tony Vitello next. Hot Corner breaking news. It's happening. Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello is now going to be the manager of the San Francisco Giants. Jacob Rudner from Baseball America talking about how this is a landmark move, and he's the first manager to be hired directly from the college ranks with no pro experience. Before we dive into this, I just want to let everyone know, Baseball America Hot Sheet, we covered this, so you can go over there later and check out more clips on the topic. We also did a story with Susan Slusser, a YouTube clip yesterday, and there was another conversation that we had. But let's keep it going. I'll add one more new bit of news from Bob Nightingale. He said he's going to take a pay cut.
Wow.
3.3 mil salary and benefits is what he was currently making at Tennessee. Bob said, don't forget, Bob Melvin is still on contract for 2026 at $4 million. I don't really care. I mean, that's pretty common. But he's just pointing out that at least according to his sources, Tony Vitello will make less per season to start here with San Francisco. That makes me even more curious.
He didn't even play pro ball.
No, he did not.
He has no pro experience at all.
Yeah.
Like not even like I can like at least Murph played a little bit, and Murph coached for a while, and he went from, then he was a bench coach before, he did a bunch of things in the minor leagues, managed in the minor leagues and stuff before he got a job. But to go right from college to big leagues, man, I don't know, Kip, you're going to have to talk on this. I didn't go to college, but you don't have to run a spring training in college. You can't threaten kids with, hey, if you don't do what I say, I'll make you transfer and take your scholarship. There's none of that. You get what you get. In college, you get to pick the players, man. You get to say, I'm recruiting you, and I'm recruiting you, and I'm recruiting you. And in the big leagues, they just say, here's your team, go play with them.
And it's short term, too, in college. I mean, in the big leagues, sometimes you might have a guy for 10 years. You got to be really careful about how you manage relationships. All right, so enough from us. Kip played college ball, and you actually played for Pat Murphy, who did not do this direct route. Brewers manager, spent plenty of time in the big leagues, bench coach, the whole deal. But anyway, give us the context of how you think this is going to play out.
I think it's going to play out. It's going to play out well, but it's because the same way for Murph. Murph is a player's manager. He is someone who gets the team together. You want to play hard for him. Guys like playing for Murph. I think that's the big thing here that I've seen with Vitello is it looks like guys like playing for him. He's going to have his bumps and bruises on how to run the big league team compared to a college team, obviously. But this kind of strikes me as, and I want to get both of your thoughts on this right back to you. Is this he checks the box of players want to play for him like a Murph, but this is also where a new guy with no grounds or no pillars to stand on can kind of be just a yes man for the front office to make the lineups and all that stuff too.
Well, that's what we don't know. The most fascinating thing to me is
sounds like a little bit to me, and I don't want to discredit Vitello before he's even started or anything like that, or saying that he can't make his own moves. But it's like you see a lot of front offices and kind of where the old school where the manager makes all the decisions just isn't around as much.
Well, you go from making all the decisions to making almost no decisions, right? From the college to a big league manager. No, I'm not saying you don't make any decisions, but they're limited.
But he'll still be a player's guy that enjoys it and looks like he's had success wherever he's gone, and looks like guys will like to play for him. So when you can check that box, front office sees that, and then they can just do the other stuff that they want to do. It's the hiring makes sense.
Yeah, but that can only take you so far. Being a nice guy. I mean, come on. You played for nice guys. I played for nice guys. Guys you want to play for. Robin Ventura was the nicest guy in the world, and you want to play for him, but he wasn't a great manager. Like that's to me is you have to have that. Joe Madden people love playing for. Some people hated playing for Joe Madden, but he got the most out of people, and he knew how to do that.
This guy's
I like having a guy he has managerial experience, whether it is at the college level. So he is going to have to see the nuances of the game and how different it is from the big leagues to the college game. But I do like someone with managerial experience over maybe say a former player to start right away. My 2 cents.
The biggest thing is who's he going to hire? Who's he going to hire as a coach?
That's a huge thing.
He's got to have veteran coaches, right? He's got to have a veteran bench coach, veteran pitching coaches, guys that have been around. Because if he just goes out and says, "Oh, I'm just going to bring my Tennessee staff over here," and they're like, "Hey, spring training starts next week. What's the plan?" "Oh, we'll just scrimmage every day like they do in college." Like that's not how it works exactly. Like that's where it's going to be. How do I run a bullpen? In the big leagues you have 26 guys. In college you have it used to be like 40 guys. Now it's down to 36, I think.
Yeah.
So many more options, Guys only pitch once a week. Who do I set up here and there? I don't have to recruit guy. I don't know. It's fascinating to me. It's a fascinating hire, good or bad, however it works out.
Here's the one thing where I disagree with people that say, why would he leave there? I mean, he's a coach / manager. Just because he's doing this successfully at Tennessee for years doesn't mean that he doesn't have goals of being a big league manager and winning a World Series. How many kids grow up and say, I want to win a World Series versus how many kids grow up and say, I want to win a college World Series? You always start with World Series. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to discount that part, Kip. I mean, is he taking a pay cut? Maybe, probably, right? According to the report, but he might have gotten more than 3 years. So there's still some security there. And he spent 8 seasons already at Tennessee. He's won there. Like, you kind of accomplished it all. You have to deal with more of the NIL crap now, which a lot of college coaches that have a lot of power get pissed about. So it makes sense to me. You get to be under Buster Posey, who is a very different front office exec from most of the others. And he played, and he has a lot of respect for the college game. He loved his time at FSU. So to me, it all adds up and makes sense. And here's the cherry on top for me, Kip. Tony Vitello is going to be known forever as the guy that did this. And if he does this successfully, he will pave the way for others to do this and will be a pioneer. That's cool. That's a legacy building moment.
Oh, I don't question at all why he's doing it. I completely understand his side. I completely. It is such a big jump, and like you said, the personal goals and aspirations, and you want to be a World Series manager, and you want to be a major league manager. The guy's taking a pay cut to do it. That is absolutely the goal, is to get to the big leagues in any aspect of the sport. So no, I don't question why Vitello is doing it, and there will be the entire rest of the league will be watching how this plays out to see if it can work or not, and then that'll open up the floodgates to more college coaches maybe doing it down the road if this works out.
What do you think is going to be the toughest thing for him at the jump? Like Lance Lynn's on this show sometimes, and I heard him the other day on the radio say that the speech in spring training for him actually matters more than most because it's different and you just want to hear what he has to say, and just the way that he's perceived right from the jump in spring training. Like, hey, let's give this guy a chance. He has had a lot of success. Do you think that, something in spring training really matters? Like, what's the moment where it's going to be like, okay, he's got these guys?
I think he's going to be good at that. I think it's going to be more comes down to what AJ was saying, and more about running a bullpen, running an organization, almost a big league team for the first time rather than a college team. I think the differences of those, I think, is what it's going to come down to. I think he'll get the room behind him and with a good speech, and he'll have the respect of the guys before the season starts. But it'll be interesting to see maybe in that first month, let's say April comes around and you see him maybe make a couple wrong moves or put in the wrong guys or start different players that aren't supposed to be starting. It's like, that's when you'll start to question it. But going into it, I think he'll be fine with getting the team behind him.
I think it starts now. The minute he's hired, he's going to start having to reach out to guys. I feel like he's going to have to start reaching out to Logan Webb and Rafi Devers and Willie Adames and getting them on his side. I mentioned Robin Ventura before. One of the things I think where Robin messed up is I was there his first year. He didn't call anybody in the offseason because he's like, oh, I didn't want to act people like I was playing favorites or anything. I'm like, dude, you should have reached out to me and Konerko and some of the veteran guys that had been around for a while to like see what we're thinking and what we like and this and that. He's like, well, I wanted to go into spring training with a clean slate. Like, no, like go into it and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna call Rafi Devers. I'm gonna call Logan Webb. I'm gonna call Willie Adames. I'm gonna call Matt Chapman. I'm gonna call Patrick Bailey. I'm going to call these guys that I know I'm going to be counting on and get their feelings and what they need from me as a manager, and then go from there.
Do you know the first thing I'm doing if I'm him once I sign, after I get acclimated with the team and the organization? Flying to the DR and having lunch with Rafael.
That's what I'm saying. Get to know those guys.
Hey, dude, you're our big guy. I saw what they did to you in Boston. Not my vibe. I'm a player's guy. I know what this means. Even though I didn't play, I think they did it wrong. And play to what he wants, right?
That's what I'm saying.
How hard is that? Team will fly you there and take them out to lunch.
That'll go a long way with your relationship with your team. Doing just even a phone call like that. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, it'll be exciting. Fun storyline to watch. It makes the Giants interesting. The Giants have become relevant. They were, even this year, they were 500, but they are more relevant now. They were kind of stuck in the mud in my mind for several years. After that 2021 season, it's like, And I think Buster Posey has made them.
Well, is this going to be more of a Bruce Bochy hire or a Gabe Kapler hire?
We'll find out, or a little bit in between. But attendance was up big in San Francisco. I give credit to Buster Posey for bringing in stars that people actually want to watch, and they can buy some jerseys. Okay, coming up next, I'm very excited for this one. There's a new documentary out on Netflix, and it is called Who Killed the Montreal Expos? I'm actually wearing the shirt today. We are going to talk to the writer and director of this doc that just came out next. Hey, reminder to everyone, the Playmakers Classic is happening on Tuesday, February 18th, 2026. 400 plus packed the event last year, including 100 current big leaguers, former pros, and future stars. This is an opportunity to be close to those players. And also, as Will Benson brought up the other day, and he'll be there, you get to talk to players about whatever's going on in your world, including any charity initiatives that you have. So I think it's a really cool opportunity to, be around people that want to do good things for the community. And this event is a really cool way to pull that off. Kip, you know Arizona quite well. It's also a good time down there in downtown.
Some good golf, perfect golf weather around that time too.
Mm-hmm. Spring training, obviously, so you can go to camps right around. It's like right before when games start, and players are.
It's like the perfect time.
Yeah,
yeah.
You get good access down there because the players aren't even playing games yet. They kind of do their thing, and then they're excited to be there. So they'll go. They'll be like the roped off areas, and they'll spend time there, especially appreciating that people are there before the game starts. Anyway, if you want to check all of that out, go for it. Playmakers Classic. We'll talk more about it as we move along here in the offseason, and we'll bring on other players that will be in attendance. Playmakers Classic, more information, playerstrust.org. Okay, we got 1 minute here. I don't even have time to get to a question. I just want to say, if you have any questions for us about this doc, I have a bunch. I know AJ does. I'm sure Kip will too, about who killed the Expos 20 years ago?
I've seen this.
Yeah.
Who killed them? And we're going to ask, let me practice the name here. Jean-François Poisson.
No, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Francois.
Well, they do have the same first name.
Poisson.
So he's ready for us. And this doc's out now. This isn't like a promotion thing or whatever. We're just, this is a cool doc that's out. We got access to talk to the writer and director. And we have many questions about how this was put together and some of the stories inside the stories that he put out there on this doc. We watched it already. I watched it late last night. So we are ready to go. Questions are ready. Jeffrey Loria and Dave Sampson will definitely be brought up among others here coming up in 20 seconds.
As good as we are in hockey, Montreal is a baseball city.
Our fans were always there cheering.
Baseball was everyday life.
The Expos of '94 were the best team in baseball.
It was completely wild in Montreal.
Good night!
The biggest party you've ever been to? Like that.
Jean-François Poisson joining us right now on Foul Territory. He's the writer and director of Who Killed the Montreal Expos. It's now available on Netflix. Wow. Good timing there to put this out. I know it's 20 years, so that's part of it, but baseball's kind of a big deal in Canada right now. How you doing?
I'm good, and yes, the timing is amazing. I couldn't have think of it.
Yeah, incredible. We all watched it. I watched it late last night. I really enjoyed it. It's a great 90 minutes. We have plenty of questions. I'm actually going to start this way because it was turbulent times. I want to bring you into this. The Minnesota Twins went through all kinds of crap during your time period.
It was the same stuff.
With retraction, right?
Contraction.
Or contraction.
Contraction.
Yeah, which contraction.
Retraction.
Right. But give him your perspective here because this will help for the conversation.
So Jean-Claude, I watched this, and having been on the Twins at the same time, it was kind of the same thing with the Twins. We need a new stadium. We can't survive where we are. Oh, and then Major League Baseball came up with this, excuse my language, freaking brilliant idea. Let's just get rid of two teams. And one of them was the Expos, and one of them was supposed to be the Twins. So every day, I think it was the 2001 offseason, we had about 3 times a week, we had to get on the phone with the Players Association and this and that, and try to explain to us why they were trying to get rid of these two teams. Now everyone wants to add teams. At the time, they were trying to get rid of teams instead of trying to make it work. And what I got from this documentary was it wasn't one person that killed the Expos. It was a lot of bad decisions by not only the people at the Expos, people in Major League Baseball, the Loria, Sampson, the poor guy, Bruce Show. I felt so bad for that guy. But this contraction thing was unbelievable that they were even thinking about. We went on and won the division and saved baseball in Minnesota, and the Expos sadly never had that opportunity
because of '94.
Because of '94 with the strike.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, man, I felt it. This kind of pulled at my heartstrings because I went through this kind of with the Expos at the time.
Yeah, and it's relevant for every city that lost a team. anywhere in the world. It's just almost the same thing. I remember this contraction thing. I think it was a way to push cities to just build new stadium. Huh? I think so.
100%.
So yeah, so Minnesota had one, and Montreal, I think, didn't. So they're gone.
Hey, I want to go to one of the pressing questions in the doc. And obviously, the story already exists. You're just taking us inside of it. But part of it has to do with figuring out who the number one villain is. And you present cases for a number of people within the documentary. Do you have an opinion? Like, do you think that there's one person? David Samson kind of talks about how it's not like one moment defined everything. Okay, that's fine. But is there one person who could have done something differently more than anyone else in this entire situation that would have changed it? Like, it could be the commissioner, could be Bud Selig, because he was part of the 94 strike. And if there's no 94 strike, maybe the Expos make enough money and don't have this problem. But who do you think?
Yeah, one person is hard, but if I had to pick one person, I would blame mostly the businessmen in Quebec. They could have done something, put some money. I know it was hard. I know the strike was hard, and it was obviously maybe the beginning of the end. But I don't know. There was maybe a lack of. Did they really wanted to keep the team? I'm not sure. I wouldn't blame the Americans. Of course, everybody here blames them, and that's why I really wanted to have David or Jeffrey Loria in the film, because their point of view. Here in Quebec, we never heard it, and it was important for me to get that and to make people in Quebec realize that maybe they're wrong and maybe there's more than one suspect. But for sure, maybe Quebecois businessmen could have done something more to keep that team. They weren't ready to put some money, and if you don't put money in the team, how do you manage to keep it here and make it win?
Jean-François, I thought it was really cool to get David Samson in there, and he's a media guy. He's been on our show too, so I give him credit. And he's even admitting, like, hey, I've got a ton of ego, and we listen to his show often too. My question is how you think he is perceived in this. There were some stories that came out like, oh, he's perceived as a villain, and he didn't realize that during. So I went into this thinking, oh, it's going to be really bad for David. I felt like it was okay. Like, I felt like he had good comebacks to what you're talking about, which is, hey, businessmen of Quebec, you have a piece of this team, can't give us money, but you can give millions of dollars to lawyers. I thought that kind of line, and there's more of them in the doc that I encourage people to check out. I thought it was a good comeback. So how do you think he was perceived in this, and what was it like working with him on it?
For me, anyway, I knew he was hated in Quebec, so I didn't know what to expect when I went in his home. But I knew that he know the drill, and he know how to put a good show, and he knew what we were doing. He knew we wanted to have every point of view, so he gave us testimonies with a lot of character. I have to say, is entertaining, and it's a good way to make your points. However, it would have been easy to put him as the villain because he sounds like it. And for people in Quebec, we're not used to that kind of confident tones. Business here, it's not the same. We don't want to fight. We're more consensual. And hearing David, people get a little bit scratchy, but I wanted to be fair for everyone and for him. And if people think now that he is the only villain, it's not because of what he said about the team. Maybe it's because of his tone, the way he say it, and maybe because some part of it are true. I think.
True. Listen, I agree with everything you said. The one guy I feel sorry for, I never feel sorry for David Samson, because him and Jeffrey Loria, they sold the team. They got the Marlins. Miraculously, MLB made that, and then they won the World Series the next year. And then they sold the Marlins again and made another crap load of money. So I don't feel sorry for. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for them at all. But the one guy I do, what's Brochu?
Claude Brochu.
Yeah, Brochu. He's the one guy I feel sorry for. This guy really cared about the Expos. He tried everything in his power to save the Expos, and people just crapped on him. And now I was happy in your movie. You're like kind of it was like this is a redemption spot for him, for all these people to stop crapping on this poor guy who genuinely cared and wanted to do the right thing for the Expos. And the other owners were like, no, he doesn't know what he's doing. Let's try this other guy. And then that didn't work clearly and got rid of him. So I'm glad you made this movie for Brochu.
Thank you, because you know, a lot of people pointed him. Even here in Quebec, it's him. He took bad decision. But when I met him, and it wasn't an easy interview. Everyone was treated the same. David and Claude and the other guys. But I had at some point some empathy for him, because I think he really, as you said, wanted to keep the team here. He was the legacy of Bronfman, and he had the same values, and he wanted the same thing. It wasn't the same economic context, and there was nobody here with enough money to just alone. So he tried to find some people. Maybe that wasn't the good. Maybe he took bad decisions when the strike happened. Maybe, but did he really wanted the team to stay in Montreal? I think so. I really think so. And I think he didn't deserve this whole media frenzy bullying against him. I think that was bad, and I wanted to show that, because that, for me, that's wrong.
Okay, so let's push forward here. There are Oakland A's fans that are going to watch this segment and wonder what life looks like 20 years from now. So my questions are all kind of combined here. Is baseball as popular now? I'm guessing that's no, in Montreal. Do people root for the Blue Jays? Because the commissioner of the sport currently in baseball thinks that all of the Oakland A's fans are just going to eventually root for the San Francisco Giants. And let's get that first. And then I have one more on baseball now in Montreal.
Yeah, I think the first 10 years was hard. When I spoke to people, they told me they were not able to watch a baseball game for 10 years. And then they switched for the Blue Jays, because, you know, they had to find something to, you know, if they wanted to watch baseball. So the Blue Jays became their team. Is baseball popular? It's still popular amongst the youngest people. I can see games outside. Obviously, it's not the same. Right now, there's kind of an excitement. This is a new thing, but no, it's not as popular as it was. But we can still, and this is really true. We can still feel Expos DNA in the city. They are not forgotten. I can see logos everywhere. There are murals with UP and stuff like that. Every time we pass next to the Olympic Stadium, we think about them. They're not forgotten, but of course, it's not the same. Is baseball dead here? I wouldn't say so, but it's not the same. Of course, there's a sentiment of sadness, of course, when you think about it. But I think it's a privilege to have a major league team, and we had one for so many years. We tried to keep it. The economics weren't there, but you know what? I want to feel proud, because we had this privilege for so many years, and we took it, and that was a wonderful team. And the souvenirs we have, this is not dead. This is not dead.
Well, you are one of the most level-headed fans then that I've ever heard speak about it, because normally it does not go that smoothly. And I think the sadness and the popularity is just a reflection of obviously what's happened to the team, and baseball hasn't been in there. I think the happiness and memories and new memories would come flowing back in with a new team. Do you think the city would be able to handle a new team? Because I know MLB has been talking to it for a little bit.
I don't know. This is a hard question. I want to be positive for fans in Quebec. But MLB business, this is big money now. We are talking about billions of dollars. Could Quebec sustain that without the help of the government? I don't know. Is there enough money here to maybe a big company? It works for the Blue Jays. I think it's Rogers that own them. So maybe if someone with a lot of money can see that it could work again, it would work. But now, for me personally, I wouldn't bet on it. My house.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
All right, I'm going to ask you one serious question, then I want to end on a less serious question. Okay, so the first one is, in the credits, MLB is credited with thanks to MLB. What did they have to approve? And did they charge you $1 billion for the highlights? Like, how did they get money from this? Did you have to pay them? Did they pay you to do this movie? How were they involved?
No. So they didn't paid us at all. We obviously need the MLB to do a movie like that because they own all the archive footage from the game, and they have a lot of cool exclusive archive footage. They also own all the license for all the logos and stuff like that. So we have to talk to them, and we had good conversations with them. I think my producer was talking to them every week for, I don't know, the whole process. And they were really in it. They didn't really told us anything about the narrative, so they were good with it. They only help us on the fact checking, because we wanted the facts to be really right and true. There are so much stuff that has been said about the Expos. What is true? What is not true? Do we have proof to say that thing? Is it conspiracy? Stuff like that. So they help us with that, but they were not implicate on the narrative. That was my story to tell, and they were fine with it. So they were good. That was fun. That went really well, actually.
That's good to hear. I'm glad, because they can be not so easy to work with for certain people.
But this one was great.
Okay, good to hear. Now, before I let you go, you mentioned Yuppie. Okay, so I saw Yuppie in the documentary. Yuppie's Mr. Expo. Yuppie, but then did I see him? Is he a trader now? Did he go over to the Canadians? Because I saw Yuppie. Oh, so he went. So he didn't leave. He stayed and he just switched leagues, I guess. Switched sports.
Yeah, it was kind of a culture pop icon here in Montreal. So I think, if I remember, that the Montreal Canadiens just took it back and brought him with them. So since 2005, he is the mascot of the Canadiens, and he just switched his jersey. So he's there every game here in Montreal at the arena.
Gotta have work, yeah.
But are the Expo fans rooting for the Blue Jays in the World Series, or do they hate the Blue Jays like the Canadians hate the Maple Leafs?
Yeah, I think it's kind of both, because I can read a lot of stuff. On the web. I think in majority they are rooting for the Blue Jays. It's so fun to feel baseball excitement again in Canada. It's been a while, so I think they just want to go with it and have fun. And it's cool to hear about baseball, because I did this documentary and I thought it was dead, and then it's just coming back, and I was so excited the day before the release of the movie, just watching the game, and I went to bed thinking and the Blue Jays would not win, and when I wake up, I was so surprised, and I told myself, this is the better timing I could have to just release this movie.
It really is. You can't get any
by
better.
the way, one of my big regrets in my career is I never got to go to Montreal.
Really?
Because the 1 year I was with the Giants, we were supposed to go. We went to Puerto Rico. That was an MLB owned, and they shipped our asses to Puerto Rico. And all I had heard about for years was how awesome Montreal was, and I never got to go. I was so mad about it.
You should come.
You gotta go.
It's not too late.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not. It's too cold right now, though. I have to wait till the
summer.
summer
in Montreal.
Yeah. You should. It's cold right now. It's great.
Yeah. Well, this was great. Thank you, and great job on this. Thanks for joining us. Maybe the sequel is the raves that went on there that I heard about for like 10 seconds. I could watch that. Samson dropped a line on that. Did
You
see
mean in
that?
the stadium?
He was like, there's raves. You can find E on the floor. Like,
Yeah, I did say that.
I was like, excuse me, what?
That is true.
That is true. All right, so that might be your sequel for a different crowd, but just throwing that out there. Yeah. Thanks again, and great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you liked it. You're a baseball person, and that meant a lot to me.
Thank you. Yeah. We eat, sleep, and breathe it. So I encourage everyone to check it out, and we'll be right back. Hey, it's FT, presented by Fox One. That was fun, by the way. Fox One is where you can watch the World Series. Reminder to everyone that it's coming up on Friday. Fox1.com, sign up, free trial, go get after it. And also, if you are a little bored the next couple nights, there are other options available for you. Game shows, sitcoms, and football this weekend. But what?
I was just laughing about? I knew what AJ was responding to, so I was just laughing.
Oh, yes.
Same.
Yeah, that's. We can't really discuss that on the air. But anyways, Fox One is amazing. Check it out. You get to see Tom Brady and his beautiful face. Look at that handsome devil hair.
Yeah.
Tom Brady and his super perfect necktie and his Tom Ford suit and his great hair. But you can see him, and you can see all the great shows on Fox.
Yes. And our little inside combo was not about this. It was about Montreal.
No, it was about the Montreal. We have people chiming in from the peanut gallery about Montreal.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on here while we have a minute. What did I see here? A little note on Volpe, the most talked about 80 OPS plus of all time. Chris Kirshner with the tweet, spoke with an orthopedic surgeon about his surgery. Big takeaway is that what happened immediately after the cortisone injections probably indicates how much his shoulder affected his season. That also means excuses are now over. I disagree with
He's been the same player for 3 years.
He's been the same player for 3 years, Kip. He's also now going to be coming off shoulder surgery, which is actually almost always an issue for players. Often coming off shoulder surgery as a bat is usually an issue. And where the hell were the Yankees on this, not realizing that his shoulder's messed up and it was causing a problem? Like, I don't know. This whole story is trash to me. And if I'm a Yankee fan, I want to move on.
Do I think it affected him? Yes. But I think if you're good enough to play, that means you're good enough to hit BP, hit in the cage, work on your craft, and you find what works for you that day. So I think this struggle was more than just a shoulder surgery explanation. So like you said, it's been going on for a while.
Yeah. Kip, 81, 86, and 83. That's his OPS plus his first 3 years in the big leagues.
He just, I mean, we saw how good he can be when he plays well. Obviously, anybody, it's a no-brainer comment, but I just, there's enough stats now behind it where something's off or something's switch.
Or he's an 80 OPS plus guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's a bench guy. Here comes Jonny Farmelo in the Mariners system, former first-round pick by the team in 2023 and playing out in the Arizona Fall League right now. Johnny, great to have you on the show. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Excited to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited to have you on. I mean, I have to start with the organization that you were a part of. Were you gripped to these postseason games, as Seattle obviously hasn't seen a ton of these moments in their franchise history?
Yeah, for sure. We're out here, obviously in Arizona for the Fall League. I'm living with a buddy who's playing in it and another guy who was on the taxi squad. So when they were playing, we were pretty much locked in for 9 innings, and we watched every pitch.
What did you think? What were your thoughts on how not just like obviously them falling short here, but the entire postseason played out for them, including, a huge Game 5 that went forever that I'm sitting next to one of the guys that was calling that one. But what did you think of the postseason run for the team?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously happy for them and the year they had. I think it was a big deal to get past that Tigers team too, and get to that ALDS. So that was big for them. Obviously a tough game 7 the other night, but I think it was a good year. I think it was a win for us. I think we'll be back. Um,
Johnny, would you have had Munoz in the 7th? Don't answer. Don't answer. I'm just kidding. Please don't answer.
I thought this might come. Well,
Don't answer. Don't answer.
Plead the fifth.
It's just
You're gonna play.
Sorry, it was too easy.
Yeah,
It's fresh.
yeah.
It was too
You're
easy
good.
because
You're
everyone's
good.
obviously talking about that. No, please don't. I don't want to get you in any trouble. But when you're in the fall league, I'm sure Kip went to the fall league. I went to the fall league. It's a different atmosphere out there. I know you were locked into your team. When I was in the fall league, my team was terrible, the Twins, so I didn't have to worry about watching playoff games. But are you going out with your teammates from the Mariners, like in your house? Or are you going to a restaurant, sitting there, and you're watching the games? And are you openly rooting for them at the places you go watch? Because in Arizona, are people like, who the heck are these people rooting for the Mariners? Or maybe in Peoria it might be a little different, but I would think some people would be like, man, these people, why are these all rooting for the Mariners?
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that. I will say like the restaurants around here in Peoria, like right next to the complex, we live right next to the complex. They're kind of familiar with us being around, so you get some of that, but there is a little bit of that, like, or the guys on the East Coast, like the Twins guys. It's like, what are you doing here? Um, but but yeah, fun.
Hey, Johnny, one more on the postseason, right? And then I want to get into you individually. But do you visualize those moments? Like where you're looking and you're like, hey, I could be this guy really soon. It happens fast where we'll talk to somebody like you and then all of a sudden we're talking about them in a big playoff game.
100%. Yeah. I think during like the anthem and the fall league game, I'll think about, a sold out 3-deck game 7, like in Philly. That's the type of things that go through my head. So hopefully, God willing, I'll be able to play in those games one day.
Johnny, first of all, in Peoria, I'm assuming you're playing in Peoria. There's like 3 people, so you must have a hell of an imagination if you're imagining 3 decks in the middle of a fall game, because there's like 3 people at those games, and 2 of them are someone's parents.
Yeah, no, you're correct.
Sorry, I mean I played in the fall league in '98. Jeez, oh man, a long time ago.
That's a minute ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But
are you on the
Javelina?
Yeah, I am. Yes.
Javelina alumni right here. Yeah, the only crowd is usually at the Scottsdale Stadium, kind of where the Giants play. That's usually the only one that gets you, and it usually has to be a night game.
Right,
Otherwise,
yeah,
keep
exactly.
that imagination. Hey, that's how you practice and that's how you play. Imagining, that's how you prepare your mind for some of those situations. So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you most excited about kind of taking all this experience from the fall league and stuff like that what are you going to take with you into the next season?
Yeah, I'm most excited to just get like a real sample size of at bats. Unfortunately, I've had some injuries, I've been on and off the field, so I'll be able to play quite a bit down here and get, hopefully 100, 120 at bats and really just see where I am and see what I need to work on and what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. I'm a high school kid, younger, so I really don't have too much of a feel of where I am yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, I do a
like
prospect show.
Yeah, Scotty,
go ahead, Kip.
I was just going to say that's absolutely what you should be doing. Kind of to that with the lower body injuries and the ACL care coming back for more. Are you back yet? Of like
I'm losing you guys.
In your mind, sorry, are you in your mind? Are you mentally there where you're pushing off without thinking about any of the injuries anymore? Uh-oh, did we lose him?
Perhaps.
Hey, you got me now?
Oh, gotcha.
I think
Hear
we got
you.
you back. Hold on.
Oh,
I might have to rewrite
sorry
the
about
question
that.
one more time.
There we
Kip,
go.
you got us now, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay.
You want me to
go
repeat
for
the
it.
question? Did you hear me before you?
I did not. Yeah, go ahead.
With the lower body, with the ACL injuries and stuff like that, are you back mentally to where you're pushing off without thinking about anything anymore? Are you confident in where your body is?
Yeah, I am. I think I've kind of just now gotten there. It was harder right after the surgery coming back, and we're actually playing on a lot of turf too up in the Northwest League. So that wasn't ideal. But it just gets better kind of every few weeks, I would say. But now here in the fall league, it feels pretty much normal. And it's been great. I feel like my speed is really back. And yeah, I'm comfortable in the outfield. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not playing scared or anything.
Hey, Johnny, I want to get your thoughts on the Mariners farm system, or at least the guys that you've come across. So I do a weekly prospect show with the Baseball America crew, and the Mariners farm system is humming right now. They are ranked very high from a team perspective in terms of how many elite prospects there are. You're on that list, of course, but can you give me the lowdown on some others that you know or have come across that you think are going to be special in the big leagues?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say, there's obviously the obvious big names. I'd say a guy that I'm playing with now in the fall league, Brock Rodden, switch hitting infielder. He can really play. So look out for him. I think he'll probably be in AAA next year. Could be in the conversation. So I'd say he's number one. And then I'd say another kind of sleeper, Jared Sundstrom. He's a guy, he was in AA this year. He's a left field, right field. He can swing it too. So there's obviously names, Colt Emerson, Lazaro Montez, all those guys, but those are two sleepers for you.
Did you play with any of the big names? Colt, Cade, Lazaro, Harry Ford, any of those guys? Who did you play with out of that group? And do you have like a good scouting report on any of them and what stands out both on and off the field?
For sure, yeah. I've spent a lot of time with Colt, and we're really good friends. So I'd say I've been around him the most. Yeah, from a scouting report perspective, I mean, first of all, he can really play good defense. He's really solid at short. So you got that. And then at the plate, he just puts the ball in play a lot, doesn't strike out, is always in the gaps. And I think the power is kind of really starting to show up. So he has it all. I feel like his worst game is a lot of guys' best games. So yeah, I'd give you that.
I like it. Johnny, you played for Modesto, Nuts, and then you had the Everett Aqua Sox. So are those the best two nicknames in minor league baseball? I mean, you went from the Nuts to the Aqua Sox.
Yeah, I think the Nuts might really be the best. But that's just kind of what you got in the minor leagues. It seems like a lot of those teams got those funky names.
What's AA for the Mariners?
We're the Arkansas Travelers.
Oh, okay. So that's not. And then the Tacoma Rainiers, right? It's AAA Tacoma.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So yeah, they get better as you go up. I mean, worse but better.
More traditional.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely more traditional than the Nuts and the Aqua Sox.
Yeah, I love a good minor
Trash
league nickname.
Pandas and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimps they got down in Jacksonville.
There's some really good ones.
Yeah.
Chihuahuas in El Paso.
Yeah.
Really nice. Well, Johnny, hope you enjoyed this, man. Keep doing your thing out there. We're following, and we'll see you in spring training.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
too.
Yep. See you guys.
Hey, we have a tweet on World Series ticket pricing. Joe Pompliano, who does a lot of sports biz, he's been on this show. He said World Series tickets are currently more expensive in Toronto than in LA. Current get-in prices, game 1, $875, game 2, $963. Get-in prices doesn't necessarily tell you the whole story, of course, but if you want to just get into the building, this is what it looks like. Game 3, $788, game 4, $750, game 5, $787. Those are the three in LA. Then back to Toronto, you're looking at close to $1,000 just to get into the building for what I'm assuming is standing room only.
I know a guy that can get us in. Kevin Pillar.
Kevin Pillar. He walked in a Superman costume
That's right.
and says, I have 5 of my foul territory friends.
I have 5 of my Justice Leaguers. Let us in.
I heard, random, but I heard the previous Superman that just came out. He gets like beat up the whole time. I don't know. There's
Superman gets beat up?
Yeah.
But he's Superman. How can anybody beat up? I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Pilar should take over. I'll send you something that was really funny on it. Anyway, this makes sense, right? Toronto hasn't seen this. I mean, you played for a team that hadn't experienced this, so you can speak to what this is like. The Blue Jays haven't won since '93. The Guardians have never won. / Indians.
Well, they have.
Or not since what?
I played for a team that didn't win for 88 years, dude.
I forgot about you.
You forgot about me. Sorry, Kip. I mean, you're like in the 40s.
Wait, but Cleveland didn't win. I mean, you guys won.
Yeah, it had been 88 years, longer than the Red Sox. But Kip's on that track with the Guardians right now.
Anyways, World Series prices are.
What was the year for Cleveland?
47?
40. It looks like.
Isn't it 47, Kip?
48. 48.
48?
48.
I was way off.
Last title in 48. 77 seasons.
They're chasing down them Cubby Bears.
Dude, it's getting up there.
They're chasing down them Cubby Bears.
Wow.
Maybe if they changed back to the Cleveland Spiders, they would win.
I actually did like the Cleveland Spiders.
They still should have gone for the Steamers. I'm just saying.
Guardians was like
the train,
of the
choices.
The train that Guardians was last on my list.
The what?
I don't like the name.
Getting off topic, guys.
Sorry, but in the breaks, in the commercial breaks, we're allowed to do this.
Yeah, this is a commercial break.
Yeah, we just fuck around.
Yeah, the Cleveland Steamers because of the boats and the train that runs through there. It should have been.
I'm with you.
Guardians isn't horrible.
It's fine. It's there.
Yeah, it's too hard to explain why it's the Guardians.
Exactly.
Bridges and everything.
In the weeds. Let's bring this up from sorry, right from the jump here. I know for the production team behind the scenes, if you can bring up that tweet from Eno. I'm curious to get the player perspective here and to push it forward. So he wrote about how the Mariners had 25 instances where a reliever was seeing a hitter for the 3rd time in a series, including when Bizzardo saw George Springer for the 3rd time in the ALCS. He said the Dodgers have had 1. Now, I think there's important context here. The Dodgers don't have to use their relievers as much in the playoffs because their starters go.
And they've won every series very easily.
So there's that. But regardless, I do want to get your take. Like, you're seeing the same reliever over and over again. How much of a factor is that? And clearly, there are front offices that should be game planning. Hey, this hitter has seen this pitcher this many times. Eventually, it's going to click. So let's try to avoid that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No matter who it is.
No. I mean, you used to do this in the regular season. Kip knows this. When you played teams 19 times, you get the same lefty 10 times in a year, and you're like, okay, eventually I'm going to figure this how to get some kind of hit off this guy. Do something off this guy.
I used to call Mets spring training games for SNY, and I remember multiple times we thought that there was going to be one starter, and then they were like, nope, Mets are playing the Phillies today. They're having him pitch in the B game or in the back or whatever because they just don't want him to see them and what he looks like in spring training coming up. So
it's all just more information for the hitter. Think about like a long at bat. He's getting more and more information every pitch. Now just multiply that when he has more and more at bats versus the guy then. And if he's, like AJ said, if he's tried new things, if he tried ambushing this time, if he tried sitting curveball on a left on left this time, he's gathering information and data. And if you don't want it to be in the playoffs, if you're the pitcher where here's a hitter, he might have finally found the answer to how to get a hit off you. And that's where AJ is saying sometimes it's just time where he tried everything else already. You don't want to give the hitter too much information.
Okay, so how do we spin this forward to the World Series? Like, is there anything we should keep in mind? My big thing on the Blue Jays side is to use that variety. I don't think that there's a clear-cut circle of trust for John Schneider. So I know I pushed this the other day with you, but I'm like, let me see a little Kevin Gausman out of the bullpen on his throw day. Let me see Bassett a little bit more frequently. Like, let's just keep throwing different things at the Dodgers. I don't want the same game plan middle innings every time from Toronto. You know, everyday Louis Varland is going to give up some dingers if he's pitching every game in an extended series like this. That's been the case.
Yeah.
It's a trend.
I hate to bring this up for Kip, but like Andrew Miller in 2016, he already mentioned it. Like Francona wore him out. Even Aroldis Chapman got worn out when Rajay hit the home run. He was worn out because they're pitching him every game in multiple innings. It was like, dude, at some point you got to give these guys a break.
It affected both. Miller shouldn't have thrown in game 5, and Chapman shouldn't have thrown in game 6. I think we were ecstatic that we came back enough to get Chapman into the game, even though we still ended up losing 6 and 7. But we got him into the game on 6, and we felt like that was a win in and of itself right there, because he was going to be more tired. More guys would have seen him then. So there are those little things where you got to have the two different pitchers. You got to have one who can get you an out and one when you need a strikeout. So there are different ones there too.
You know who I just thought of? We might have brought him up once a while back on the show, but remember Brandon Morrow for the Dodgers? I mean, he pitched.
He was a Blue Jay guy.
Yeah, but he pitched for the Dodgers. He was a Blue Jay at one point, but he pitched for the Dodgers in, what was it, the 2017 World Series, I believe? Right?
Never came back?
Yeah, against the Astros. Right. Well, then, yeah, he ended up getting hurt. And he did say afterward that, you know, he was also feeling it a little bit. I mean, they were going to him every game, and then he wasn't feeling like he had the stuff for one of those games.
That's what Matt Brash looked like for the Blue Jays at the end.
Running out of gas.
I mean, for the Mariners. Yeah, that's why he didn't pitch instead of Bizzardo.
They pitched him the day before.
That's what I'm saying. But he looked tired, right? Some of these guys get tired, man. They don't pitch this much. If you talk to a manager, and Kip, you know this, when you talk to your managers, they'll be like, oh, he's thrown 3 out of 4. I'm definitely giving him the day off. Well, in the playoffs, they're like, okay, well, he can give me one day. He can go 4 out of 5. I mean, he pitched in 4 out of 5 days. Regular season, they just were like, hey, don't even take spikes today. We'll give up this game.
You're
if we
down.
have to. Yeah, you're down. But in the playoffs, and then they have to try to get it up.
That's where it's the most important. The managerial use of a bullpen comes into play. The biggest is the playoffs, and especially the World Series now. You can get away with stuff during the regular season. You have guys down because nobody's going to say no. No pitcher's going to be like, I'm hanging today in the postseason. So you're always going to have use of everyone, but it just comes down to how the manager works the bullpen, what strings he pulls.
Morrow pitched in 14 out of the Dodgers' 15 playoff games in 2017. That was
insanity.
The trash can Astros, but yeah, like
he was
game
hurt
5
before,
was when he got
hurt
lit
before
up.
that.
He was hurt before. I mean, he was
hurt
almost his whole career, and
That's
then
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was his moment. In the beginning of the playoffs, he was money for them, and I think he started to wear down, of course. And then also, I mean, World Series 2017, there's a lot to it there. I mean, the game 5 that he pitched in where he gave up like 4 or 5 runs, you know, that game was 13-12. Like, exactly. 25 runs in that game. I remember watching. I was like, is this going to be how baseball is now? But anyway, I just wanted to go over the thought exercise with you guys on how to play this out. The Dodgers definitely seem to have the easier decision-making for Dave Roberts as long as they continue this. It'll be interesting because we haven't really seen this, Kip. What if a starter for the Dodgers does have a bad day and you have to script the rest of the game or play it out with your relievers? So let's say a dude doesn't make it past the 2nd inning and you got to fill a lot of time. Kershaw?
Yeah.
Sheehan for sure.
Have to cover some innings for you.
Mm-hmm. They are set up so perfectly for so many things with just how good their staff is. It can handle so many different ways of they're rested. The starters go long. So and then they have guys in their bullpen who are starters and are stretched out as well too. So they really are capable of handling almost each situation. And like if a starter, let's say game 1 or 2 only goes 2 innings, they're out of the game. Now you bullpen it or you go Kershaw, like you're saying. You still have Yamamoto and Shohei, guys who are able to go 6, 7, 8, 9 innings themselves. So that's the luxury of these guys who are just dominant and can get late in the games all the time anyways.
It's funny if you're Toronto, you're like, guys, let's get one of these starters knocked out so we get Kershaw. It just sounds funny.
Although he had a good year.
He did. Yeah. I mean, he always puts up good run prevention numbers, no matter what the stuff looks like. And
that's old school. It used to be knock out the starter to get to the bullpen. Well, here's a Hall of Famer waiting for you. Yeah, good luck.
But stuff-wise, I mean, you'd much rather face Clayton Kershaw than a good day for Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Yamamoto, or Ohtani.
True.
I'm just disappointed. Shohei's only if it goes 7, he'll only get to pitch it once.
No, twice. He'll come out of the bullpen in Game 7.
Do you think
his dream?
Give up the DH.
His dream is to do exactly what he did in the World Baseball Classic.
It's got to be Kershaw for me.
Like I actually think Shohei Ohtani, as robotic as he is, has one dream, right? Game 7, World Series, tight game, and he closes it out. I actually think that's a thing for him. He's talked to the team about.
You want to bet on it?
Well,
I like
AJ's. So let's push forward.
AJ's.
Are we getting to a Game 7?
Too soon. Sorry.
Oh, want to bet on it? That was the line. I did miss that. But that's what he wants.
Okay.
Wait, you think Kershaw's going to close it out? Kershaw?
No, I'm saying in an ideal world, if we had Andy McCullough on the other day, if they have a lead and a big enough lead, and it's a clinching game, Kershaw's last game, and you bring him in.
Yeah, but it's got to be like.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying 5-6 runs. You say Kersh, go close this thing out, and let him do it. I think that would be the storybook ending he deserves.
6+.
Okay, fine. They're up 10-2 in the 9th. Kersh, finish this thing.
Yeah.
It's weird to say like the storybook ending that he deserves. Like, guy's had an amazing career. He also deserves the storybook ending as well.
Yes. Some people get it all. Some people get it all, Kip. Okay.
No, it would be so cool to watch. It really would.
I mean, listen, Kersh has already there's one thing Kersh has missed in his career that he didn't get. He didn't get the Tyler Glasnow body. Okay. But he got the Hall of Fame career. He got the money. He got everything else. But he doesn't have the Tyler Glasnow body.
No, he's a proud dad body.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So you can't really get it all. He got most of it. He just missed that one little thing.
Yeah, but he is inspirational, as are many baseball players. You don't have to have a Tyler Glasnow body to make it to the big leagues.
I agree. That's Rowdy.
Right. There's a lot of guys where you look and you're like, okay.
Maybe he's just firing from the hip today.
It's been a long week, Kip. You missed a lot this week.
Apparently.
Welcome to foul territory.
It's been a rough week on the Twitter for me. People have really hurt my feelings with their mean words they've said to me.
I bet you take them to heart.
If you think about the context, I mean, it's fans just talking
rubbish.
Yes, strategy stuff. Like, whatever, Like a fan going, oh, I mean, did you forget George Springer played the outfield? No, you're watching a 30-second clip on Twitter, and we talked about that for 5 minutes of it and his knee. But thanks for chiming in. Anyway, let's swing back, and then we will talk about something a lot more civil and calm. Ump Show. Hey, it's FT, presented by the new Fox One app. We have some news coming in about the Braves manager spot, which I think is the best job available out of the whatever the number is, still a large number of openings. Scott Coleman, part of our Hammer Territory crew, said Mark Bowman's reporting it seems the Braves are down to 3 candidates. Cubs bench coach Ryan Flaherty, Dodgers bench coach Danny Lehman. Who's the third? Somebody send me who the third one is on there. Got cut. But Mark Bowman also wrote a quote tweet on that and said he confidently – here's the third one. George Lombard, Tigers bench coach. But he said he confidently removed David Ross, Mark DeRosa, and John Gibbons from the list. I remember when I worked with DeRosa at MLB, that was like what he was waiting for at one point. But that was a while ago. This was when Snicker took over and then ends up staying there for a long period of time. And I don't I don't know what the deal is. Maybe he's waiting till his kids are out.
Poisson has too good of a gig right now.
He's a good gig. And also,
gets paid a lot of money from
does.
MLB to talk really well about MLB on MLB Central every
right.
day.
Yeah, he's a big
and
ambassador.
he gets to go around with Rob Manfred and hang out and play golf.
It's a good gig. It's a lot
He gets
less
to
stressful.
manage Team USA every few years.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got a pretty good gig right now.
Yeah. At some point when, the channel keeps changing like it does, then maybe he gets interested in the manager role. Because, I mean, the manager role's a grind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very big difference from doing a little bit of TV, right? A lot more heat. I mean, Braves fans, they've got a great team and a great organization. Braves fans have high expectations, rightfully so. But Kip, whenever I go on, like this year, I'll go on a radio station in Atlanta and I'll be like, just want to make sure everyone listening here is aware, like the world is not ending. This team won a World Series recently. They're competitive every year. Like I get it. This is not a good year, but this fan base has experienced really good baseball in almost every way. Sorry, you didn't have time for that.
They're spoiled in a good way. They've had such a good team. They're spoiled.
Yeah, they're spoiled.
Right.
All right, so we've got the recap on umpires in the league championship series. What's up? 112 calls missed.
Okay. And how many games?
6 of the 11 games had below league average correct call rates.
That's not good. That's not good.
Can we get the scorecards?
Yeah.
Well, I have a specific at bat that I want to look at with you guys.
I think they do it, but this should be the best of the best, or whoever's had the highest scores should be the ones doing it. That's like the way you earn your way into that, but I don't think they do. So never mind.
Well, the guy a couple years ago had the highest scores for the year. Got kicked out for gambling. So I mean,
that's true.
I don't know.
But the thing is, their scoring system, Kip, is not just tied to how they do calling balls and strikes, right? It's even like how they handle player relations, right, and all of that. So I just think that there should be who's the top 10 on the home plate ranking. We've done this before. We've talked about this. So I want to focus on a specific situation. Gino Suarez against Chris Bassett. Bassett throws that 72-mile-an-hour curve called strike 3 to get Gino in a big spot in Game 7. Let's run what Gino said first, and then we'll show you why he was pissed. So he said that was the same pitch you called ball, and then
he didn't say that.
What did he say?
A little more than that.
A little more. Let's show the pitches. Here's the thing.
He's actually wrong.
Both of them were strikes, Kip. I mean, the ABS system next year, if he challenges that, he loses.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was even further inside than the last one. But that's the problem when if number 2, because he's comparing it to his number 2 pitch. If that number 2 pitch was called a ball, I would be even more irate if I was Suarez on that one. But the first one was called a strike, and it was full count. You should be kind of swinging at that pitch anyways. But I remember doing that a bunch where balls on the black or right on the outside of the zone, and I'm just like, hey, is that as far as it goes? And then it will be he's like, yep, it'll be like literally half the ball out from that, and it'll call the ball. I was like, you're a man of your word. So you have these kind of conversations throughout the at bat with it, but you're just guys know their zones. This is what we do. We put the baseball from our tee drills into the cages to every at bat. We learn what the zone is, so we're usually up on that, and we allow a little gray area, but we just want a consistent gray area. If you're going to give the inside all night, that's fine, but just be on your P's and Q's on the outside. We want that to remain the same. So we just want consistency, I think.
Okay. Here's a different side of this. Maybe Kirk framed it better. Second one. Also, maybe the umpire said to Eugenio earlier, hey, man, I missed that one. We don't know. We only saw the end. Maybe he said, oh, man, I missed that one. I need to get that next time. Boom. Next one's 3-2. We don't know that.
Yeah. 2 different pitches, too. So they get perceived differently.
Yes. And
from the ump.
I mean, they both were strikes, technically.
Yeah, they were both strikes.
So they both should have been called strikes.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a million ways to look at this. Umpires generally do a good job. Am I looking forward to ABS? Absolutely, because I can't wait to see who gets to tap their head and who doesn't.
But in this case,
he doesn't have an argument.
Wait, I'm going to.
He doesn't because they were both strikes. If he goes back and he looks at now, also I will say this: I don't know who does the little dots on the little screen because it's probably some college kid that's like you were in college eating a bunch of gummy nerds. And,
no, it's from StatCast.
Yeah, but someone's got to be pressing the button.
No,
where it crosses.
No, it's StatCast.
Oh, because we used to have back before StatCast. We used to have a Inside Edge or whatever it was called. They would literally we'd watch the thing and they'd show us where the dot was, and we're like, damn, what was this kid doing? Sitting up at 3 a.m. in his dorm room, pressing the wrong spot, and you're like, that's not where it was.
That's different.
Okay,
it's auto now. But here's the thing: let's paint this picture next year, same exact spot. Okay, Gino's up. And that pitch is called the ball. The second pitch of the AB is sweeper, right? Let's say the team doesn't challenge it. Chris Bassett and company, they don't challenge it. Okay. Fast forward later in that AB, called strike 3. He's pissed. The consistency doesn't go away, or the inconsistency doesn't go away, because it's not judging every pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So if Gino's like, what the hell? Challenge, boom, you're wrong. That's a strike. That's what it was. So it's not. If you want that kind of consistency, you need ABS on every pitch. We're not getting that. Players didn't want that.
I don't want that either.
Okay, so this is still going to be a problem.
There, and I misspoke earlier. So he did call it a ball first. So that's why Suarez is even more mad, because it was even more inside, and then that's why. So I said he called it a strike earlier, but 3-2. It's a tough one. I don't know. It's a tough one. He's taking it because it literally was just called a ball earlier in that at bat. So the inconsistency is what got to him. The ABS is to remove the inconsistency and just to get the call right. I think that's all we want, really. All we care about is getting the call right.
Does Gino really know the exact spot where that's landing when he's taking that?
He said it was the same pitch. It was not the same pitch. The umpire was right, though.
It was a sweeper and then a curve.
But it wasn't in the same spot either. They didn't even touch each other.
Yeah, they're close, but no, not the same spot.
That's like saying I'm close to Canada right now.
How tough is that?
I'm not that close, but I'm close.
I mean, you're closer than Asia is.
True.
How tough is that pitch specifically during that AB when he unleashes that very rare eephacy curveball?
I mean, you have a hard time. You hope he throws it for a ball,
right? You're not ready for it.
That 94 looks like 99 then, because you just got to get your weight back on both. Or you just got to get your hands ready for the fastball. So it really does add it to the other pitches too. But
I mean, he went sweeper, sinker, cutter, sinker, and those were all obviously. Actually, the sweeper was 73-ish, and then curveball. Good sequencing.
Mm-hmm.
Mix it up. Yeah.
What's the difference between a sweeper and a slider? Technically,
nothing. Horizontal.
Okay.
More horizontal break.
Slurve.
Yeah, it's a slur. They just invented. Some guys, listen, you know this. Some guys had more horizontal on their slider. Some guy has more vertical, but they just wanted to come up with a different name so they could categorize it. And by the way, I said this when I did my broadcast. Can we stop calling a high two-seamer a sinker? It's not. It's just a two-seamer. He's just trying to get run across the zone at the top. Because, as you know, Kip, high sinkers, they don't sink. They only sink over the fence usually. So they're not trying to make the ball start at your chest and go to your thighs. They're just trying to start at your chest and run it across the zone. So can we stop calling that a sinker? It's not a sinker. It's a two-seamer.
I'm with you. They're just trying to start it at the barrel and go to the end of the bat.
Exactly.
Wait, so then do you want StatCast to change that?
Whoever calls this pitch right here a sinker when it's really – George Kirby was doing it at 98, and he was just throwing two-seamers that would start here and end up over here instead of the four-seamer, which stays truer, right? That's not a sinker, because a sinker, you're literally trying to get the ball to go down, right? He's not trying to get the ball to go down. He's trying to get the ball to go from here to here. So that's not a sinker. That's a two-seamer.
So should we label all of them two-seamers, or do we still have sinkers if they're...
Yeah, some guys throw one-seam sinkers.
Right.
So, I mean, you know this, Kip. Some guys throw the one-seamer that just goes straight down, right? Some guys throw two-seamers that has more horizontal and down. And then some guys were never able to get the ball to go down, so they just throw a ball that goes this way.
I like those guys usually.
Yeah, those are usually the ones, if it's a righty on a lefty, those are usually the ones you could get that. You could go from here and just go, whack.
Yep. Lefties look forward to those guys.
Yes.
Well, this will be the last 4 to 7 games in Major League history that don't have a challenge system or ABS involvement. In the future, we might have auto balls and strikes for everything, but this will be the last time that machinery is not involved with this, Kip. So soak it in.
Question for you. Is there a deal with it where it's like, we're going to give this a 5-year, 10-year run, or is this just like implemented and this is the rule now? Or is it just like is there any kind of trial period deal?
Implemented, here's the deal. They feel like they tested it enough everywhere and that this is the next step in terms of calling balls and strikes. I think there's still a chance that in the future, all of this is called via machinery, but I think we're far away from that. I think this is going to be a roaring success and people are going to like it. And baseball's a business and they're going to like the fact that the challenge system creates a lot more interesting content for everyone, for umps, for teams, for fans, right? Everyone can get involved on that. So I actually think that it's going to be so successful that if anything, maybe because what did we say? We have 2 and most of us were pissed that we want 3. So maybe if anything, they add a 3 or 4, whatever it is, but you just give teams more of the ability to challenge versus going on every pitch.
Yeah. If you win it, right? You win it, you keep it.
If you win it, you keep it. Yeah. But no, like, oh, we're going to try this for a few years or anything. They just kind of go with everything where this is the new rule. But yeah, if it somehow was a disaster and like the machine was wrong or something like that, then the next season they could take it away or do something differently. But no commitments. No commitments. All right, coming up next, slap hands time. Now we're getting ready to do our final set of blocks for the World Series, but just a little recap on the regular season for the 3 of us. AJ, Kip actually had a larger pull-in. He's not on as frequently, but
he also bet way more because he wasn't on as much, so he had to bet way more.
Yeah,
which I like. I'm all for it.
Yeah, he always throws down though, and you can throw down and be down a lot, or you can be up a lot. And Kip was up a lot. Good job.
Scared money don't make money.
Yeah, Billy Napier said that and he got fired, so good job.
Hey, I can say as someone that spent some time with Kip in Vegas, he's not at the the low end tables.
If I had a bookie, my bookie's kids would be going to private school now. I'll put it that way.
Well,
so,
Kip,
this year goes. I'll take my flowers on this one. This year, I got to thank my last minute decisions with no research and just really gut feel for this. So it's intuition, I guess you could think a little bit.
Hey,
welcome to my life every day. Yeah, welcome to my betting. Producer lady texts me and says, "We need your lock," and I'm like, "Oh crap! Oh, that looks good. Let's choose that one."
Sometimes
don't take my way. Don't steal my.
Think long, think wrong.
But sometimes, too much homework can burn you.
I mean, look at Kratz. Kratz studies this crap for hours, and look at where it got him.
He had a bad year this year. Last year was good. He had a bad year. I'm like in between. Some days I like really research, and some days I don't. And I feel like I win just as many on the non-research days. So we all know the sport.
You gotta have your own system.
Yeah, you have your system. You have what you like to bet on and what you don't. And also, if you get cold in a certain category, then you can switch. Hey, my over-unders aren't really working out.
Although, Kip, it's going to get it's tough when there's only one game, man. It's hard to find something.
That's true.
Agreed.
Hey, we want to let the world know the biggest men's college basketball event before March is coming to Vegas. BetMGM is sending 25 winners and their guests to experience it live through their leaderboard contest. So for eligibility, the contest already started and it runs through November 9th. Opt in once to be eligible, win your eligible bets, and you can climb the leaderboard into their top 25. So they'll actually send you out there for the tournament. All sports and bet types will be eligible for the leaderboard, but you must win the bet to earn points with a minimum $10 wager and minimum odds at plus $100 or greater. So it's got to be a plus bet. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's slap. And we have a quote that Ken Rosenthal put out there from Max Scherzer on Giants' new manager, Tony Vitello. Vitello was the pitching coach at Missouri when Max Scherzer was there. Vitello's not that much older than Max. Max is what, 41-ish, 42? Vitello's 47. But anyway, Max said, I absolutely believe in him. He's to this day one of my closest friends. And I absolutely believe he's going to get it done at the big league level. It sounds like at some point we're going to have to talk to 41-year-old Max about Tony Vitello. Plus, Max is a little busy right now. He's got a World Series that he's going to pitch in.
He's a little busy right now.
Yeah, but Max is a big fan of foul territory as well. So we'll get him probably right after World Series, I would say, at this point, to recap it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I got a couple birthdays that we have to shout out. One, yes, Corbin Burns used to be my favorite player, but not anymore. Two, Ichiro. Three, Brad Thomas. If you don't know who Brad Thomas is, he was a left-handed pitcher. Came up with the Twins. Was supposed to be on the plane in 9/11, flying home to Australia, one of the ones that was crashed. Michael Kadire hit a home run in the AA playoffs, kept him from being on that plane, so he missed that plane. He would not be here today. So Brad, ex-teammate of mine, great story. And last but not least, Hector Carrasco. If you don't know who Hector Carrasco is, look him up. He's a right-handed pitcher. He was with the Twins when I came up. He lost his luggage like on every other charter flight. I never figured it out. And then they'd have to give him money for his clothes and his luggage. So every third flight, he'd be like, I lost my luggage. And they'd have to give him a check for his clothing. Smart play.
It's a nice little scheme
Hector.
there.
Smart play, Hector.
Hey.
I don't know how you lose your luggage on a charter flight, but he did it often.
Wow.
Yeah.
That door flung open and one bag fell out.
It happened like 5 times when you were like, Hector, how the hell do you lose your luggage on a charter plane, bro?
That's good.
It literally happened like 5 times.
By
They had to write him a check.
Giving one of the flight guys a cut. That's how.
Right, exactly. Flight guy's got it in the cockpit. And
Oh,
he's like,
man.
put it down the chute.
Do
Do you guys know how old Ichiro is? You want to guess?
52. I just saw him. He looks unbelievably
there you
good. I saw him in Seattle. Wow.
He's a workout machine.
Dude, it's unbelievable how good that guy looks.
He loves the game as much as anybody.
I know, but I always like, don't he have anything else to do?
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he got to have something to
But
do.
his whole life is just being
Kip, that would be like you going to to Wrigley Field every day and just hanging out. Like, no, I got to find something else to do.
like working out though, with the players.
I know.
Yeah, but it's cool. Love a good lifer.